February the 9th, 2022. What seemed to be a pretty normal Nintendo Direct took a very historic and dramatic turn. All it took was the sound of a tennis ball being hit to get everyone's hairs standing up. For the 83 million people who played Wii Sports and the additional 33 million who played Wii Sports Resort, our day had finally come. After 13 long years, we were finally getting a new installment in the sports series. This was monumental. Wii Sports Resort had completely changed the sports game by having you play every sport in the same location, Woohoo Island. As of September 2023, I still go back to Resort, so you can only imagine my excitement for a new entry. All I really wanted was an upgraded Woohoo Island. More sports, more locations, more Miis, but most importantly, more immersibility. Woohoo had already pushed the franchise in that direction, but it wasn't far enough. Just one more step and Nintendo Switch Sports would have cemented itself as an all-time classic. Sadly, Switch Sports went down a completely different path. A path that led off a cliff that, to this day, they still have not been able to climb out of, and more than likely, never will. Being on a more powerful console than the Wii, Switch Sports could have had it all. More sports, more modes, a remastered Woohoo, brilliant online play, free roaming, but no. It fell down in all of these categories. Nintendo Switch Sports released in April of 2022. It's been 18 months since then. I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on the game. I'm going to answer the age-old question. Did Nintendo Switch Sports live up to its expectations? I hope you enjoy. Nintendo Switch Sports was released on the 29th of April 2022, 2 months after it was announced, and it's fair to say it sold pretty well. As of today, it's in the top 20 best-selling Switch games of all time. It was advertised as the 4th installment to the sports series. The last title, Wii Sports Club, flopped massively, barely breaking into the millions. So Switch Sports didn't have much to live up to, right? Wrong! Contrary to popular belief, Wii Sports Club didn't sell too bad. It was completely different to Wii Sports and Resort. It was mostly an online experience, you see. You could actually purchase sports individually. If you didn't want baseball, then you didn't need to pay for it. You could also rent a sport for 3 days just to give it a go. So it was only at the end of Club's life cycle did it get a physical release. So we're not counting that one. No. Switch Sports had massive shoes to fill. Wii Sports is one of the most sold games of all time, and Resort sold 33 million copies. Only 2 Switch games broke the 33 million mark: Animal Crossing New Horizons and Mario Kart 8. So yeah, looking back on it now, it does seem like Switch Sports was born to fail, unless it did everything to perfection. Switch Sports released with 6 sports: volleyball, football, badminton, tennis, chambara and bowling. A pretty good selection of sports, I thought. A few returning classics and a few brand new ones. My only complaint at the time was, where's the rest of it? Resort released with 12 sports and multiple game modes. Switch Sports didn't even have different game modes. It only had variations of the sports. Take bowling for example. There's 2 different lanes you can play in, normal and advanced. Same with football. You can play with 1 person or 8 people. But Switch Sports always had something that the other titles in the series didn't have: DLC. We were promised regular DLC throughout this game's life, so I wasn't worried at all. Besides, a lot of games nowadays don't release fully the way developers want to. It's only after DLC is when the pieces of the puzzle begin to fit. Switch Sports introduced a brand new location, Spoko Square. Now, it's no Woohoo Island, that's for sure, but being honest, it looked amazing. It seemed they took inspiration from Japan because it's incredibly futuristic. They tried to make it as realistic as possible. When you're playing the sports, you can see people walking around, talking to each other, sipping coffee, going shopping and stuff like that. I'm a sucker for little details, and Spoko Square had me wrapped around its finger. Not only that, but in the loading screens, it would tell you all about the locations in the area and little things like the bus route of the city and where to get nice coffee. Just brilliant. Sports Mates are the new addition to the series. I'm well aware fans were not happy with this. Replacing the classic Miis was and always will be a tragedy. But after all the backlash, they were quick to remind us that yes, Miis will be playable but won't be the main focus. This, in my opinion, was a step back for the franchise. I mean, before the game was even released, it was getting criticised. But I look past this. You do get used to them after a while. Of course, the game's best advantage over the rest is its online play. This was Switch Sport's selling point. We were able to play every game online with our friends or at randoms. In my opinion, it worked perfectly well. Each sport brought something new to the table. Battle Royale bowling was the online highlight for me. 16 players went head to head in a free-for-all. Each round, a certain number of players were knocked out depending on how many points they gained, until one person was left. Football was also amazing online. 8 people in 2 teams of 4 would play in a 3-minute match. With the game being online comes weekly unlockables. Each week, a brand new line of collectibles was released. This can range between sports equipment and new clothes. It was supposed to give players an incentive to come back and play the game. A good idea in the beginning, I won't lie. So that was the base game for Switch Sports. It had a lot of new features, sports, locations, concepts, so it intrigued players, of course, but underneath all of that was its faults. It didn't quite show yet, but it did not take long for the wall to start breaking. About a month into the game, I was still having a pretty good time. I was playing most days, trying to keep up with the new collectibles, but something was happening. I had really high expectations for this game, so I always wanted it to work out, but deep down, I knew I was starting to get bored. No, it can't be. It's only been a month. I must be the problem. No, I have to be the problem.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
No, Mihal, it's as easy as this. You can't release a game with only 6 sports to play and not expect people to get bored. This brings me to my next point. The ranking system. I'm sure the developers knew that 6 sports was simply not enough. So to combat this, they upgraded the classic sports ranking system. In previous titles, the ranking system was dead simple. If you win a game, your points will go up. If you lose, they go down. 1,000 points gets you to professional status. In Resort, they slightly advanced this by adding in superstar status, aka getting to 2,000 points. Switch Sports completely revamped this. You rank up using letters instead. You start with E- and you move all the way up to A+. Along with this, if you play enough of the sport, you get collectibles. So there's a bit to grind for, yes, but I had complaints. Number 1, the collectibles each week were too easy to unlock. If you sat down and played the game for an hour, you'd have the week's collectibles finished. Like, come on, that's simply not good enough. What was I supposed to do for the rest of the week? I also found myself only playing 3 sports: football, bowling and badminton. I lost interest in the others very quickly. I'd only play the other games if I was really bored. Fast forward to 7 months. Yes, 7 months. Remember that DLC content we were promised? Yes, it took 7 months. Golf was finally announced for Switch Sports. I was excited, yes, but ultimately I knew in my heart that was not good enough. Promising more sports and getting it 7 months later. Ridiculous carry on, man. Nevertheless, I played it, and to be fair, I loved it. It lived up to the classic and resort holes and also added 3 of its own. Golf played really well. The Joy-Cons worked perfectly as clubs. The online was great too. You played against 8 people, just like bowling. Now you may be asking, what about the rest of it? Where's the other sports? Where's the other game modes? I don't know. I ranked up in golf for another month and that was it. I had nothing left to give to Switch Sports. It was the beginning of the end for Switch Sports way before golf had released. For me, the game was slowly dying from day one. Having only 6 sports and no game modes is not good enough, especially considering Resort released with 12 sports and nearly every single sport had its own separate game mode. The weekly unlockables were way too easy to get. As I said, 1 to 2 hours was enough for 1 week. You may think these elements are nothing in the grand scheme of things, but trust me, it's snowballed from here. We were promised new sports from day one. Why did it take 7 months to release golf? That's not the main issue though. No water sports, no air sports, no boxing, no cycling, no baseball, no basketball. Resort gave them a blueprint to make a 4th installment, but Switch Sports threw it in the bin and set it alight. As of September 27th, 2023, 18 months since the game came out, it's got nothing else planned for the near future. That is very disappointing to say. 18 months, man. There's no way they're going to add anything else. I think it's finally time to admit that the game is dead. When your predecessors sell a combined total of around 110 million copies, you know the standards are high. It was a mammoth task to take on. Problems started before the game even released, when fans started to set expectations for the game. We of course wanted more sports. Resort set the bar with 12, so fans wanted more than that. Along with more sports, we wanted side modes to accompany them, longer ranking systems, so we can grind the game for longer. Resort introduced stamps, which were basically achievements. Of course we wanted them because they were so challenging to get, and most importantly, we wanted a known location, just like Woohoo. Now, as I've said, Spoko Square is a nice place. They certainly put a lot of time into designing it, but it wasn't Woohoo. They could have easily just remastered that map and saved themselves time. I personally really wanted free roam. I wanted a Woohoo style location where I, as a character, could run around, talk to other players, and play sports whenever I wanted. I felt that with the little details in Spoko Square, that a free roam mode was definitely on the way. I mentioned that the loading screens in the game would tell you all about the city. I thought that was a hint for what was to come, but sadly, it never arrived. So yes, there was massive expectations for the game, but I thought the developers would take that and run with it. Make it even better than anything we ever expected. What we got instead was so underwhelming. Nintendo Switch Sports was a missed opportunity. What it could have done would have cemented itself as an all-time Switch classic. It could have been up there with the likes of Resort and Go Vacation. It had all the foundations, all the blueprints, but did nothing with it. First of all, releasing 6 sports is a joke. That's only one more than Wii Sports that came out back in 2007. It should have been no less than 12. If Resort can do it, why can't she? Second, basically no game modes, except for small changes like advanced lanes in bowling or 8-player football matches. Resort had a side mode for nearly every sport. It's unacceptable. Third, only releasing one other sport. If you sell a base sports game with 6 sports, the least you could do is add in 10 other sports throughout the game's lifetime. 7 months for golf and that's it. Where's basketball? Where's boxing? Where's baseball? And most importantly, where's air sports? No island flyover. Nothing to connect the map together except a small menu hub. Spoko Square is located by the water. Where's the water sports? Fourth, boredom. This game is stale, man. The weekly unlockables can only keep you coming back for so long before you realise all the items are the exact same. Emotes, words, different equipment, and clothes. As I've mentioned already, you can unlock everything within an hour. Fifth, no offline play. Sure, you could play the game offline, but you can't rank up or unlock anything. What's that all about? The previous titles strived on the fact they had no online. At least let me rank up. It's ridiculous. Sixth, no stamps, no achievements, nothing to keep you coming back to the game. One of Resort's best selling points stripped away like nothing. Seventh, and my last point, no free roam. Free roam would have brought this franchise to a whole new level. Woohoo was nearly there. Island Flyover was the closest to free roam, and you couldn't even give us that. I thought it would happen, to be honest with you, but no. A wasted opportunity. Before we end, I'd just like to give my personal opinion on the matter. I have absolutely no satisfaction giving out about Switch Sports. I, more than anyone, wanted this game to succeed. That's why I'm so passionate about it. I wanted them to blow our expectations out of the water. And it pains me to say Switch Sports is a mockery to the franchise. You should not have embarked on such an important journey without knowing what is expected of you. All we wanted was an upgraded Woohoo Island with more sports, online play, and free roam. I will once again ask, why did you only release golf? Why not more? It's so sad to see. And on top of all this, there's no offline play. So once no one is playing online, the game is officially dead. We're supposed to get a new Nintendo console next year. So what happens to Nintendo Switch Sports then? It will be forgotten. And maybe that's what it's worth. To be forgotten. People to this day still go back to Wii Sports and Resort, a testament to how well the games were made. No one will ever go back to Switch Sports. I'd give it one more year. If nothing changes, it will go down as the worst sports game of all time. And listen, I really hope they turn it around. I hope they magically release new sports, new unlockables, offline play, and free roam. Nothing would make me happier. And on that note, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Have a good day. Goodbye.